Assalamu alaikum students, this is Shahbaz Khan, and now once again available with my new series of grammar in my English lessons. So without further ado, let us get started with the lesson. So starting the time with the name of Almighty Lord, who is the most beneficent and the most merciful. And here we go, a brand new series of grammar named Grammar Series, and today I'm available for it with its very first lecture, and I would advise my viewers everywhere in the world to actually follow the series so that nothing gets missing and everything should be in interconnection. So I duly suggest everybody to keep that in a series. I'll put that in a shape of a series in my YouTube channel as well. So without further ado, let us get moving. So the today's topic, which is the first topic of our grammar series as in its lecture 1, is word classes. So let us first of all talk about what word classes really is. So in other words, they are called parts of speech in actually more advanced way to say, but quite simply they are also called parts of speech. Let us look at the concept of it. What word classes are? They are the categories of words that display the similar properties. Whereas referring to the categories, we do need to understand that it is itself the word classes, and these are the word classes that actually have the type of similar properties which are replaceable. What do I mean by this? Let us follow in an example. For instance, Ahmed performs his duties. Here we need to look at the sentence. It itself tells that Ahmed is actually the one who does his duties regularly. So the sentence and the tense itself is present indefinite, which is all meaningful right now. So let us check the subject here, which is Ahmed. So Ahmed is here a noun, and if I replace if I place he in place of Ahmed, then obviously he is a pronoun, and when I use he in place of Ahmed, it barely changes the sentence. It actually has the whole soul meaning. Just a slight change can be observed as when we use the exact name, we know who really we are talking about, but and as we replace a pronoun in place of a noun, then that pronoun itself gives you a type of a demonstration of a guy, whether he is present, we're pointing at him and talking about him this way, or when he is nowhere to be found, we are talking about him in his absence. So pronoun is like that. So then we have multiple other things such as this boy. So this is a type of an adjective. We'll discuss that in a later lecture. And boy is another noun. So a combination of two different parts of speech we can see here. But what I'm trying to say, by using Ahmed or replacing he in its place, or replacing this boy in any other place such as of Ahmed of he, barely changes the sentence. So these three are actually giving us different categories, and there are such different categories of word classes which are definitely replaceable. So hope this gets clarified. So let's get moving further. So word classes can also be called word groups. So there are only and genuinely 3 word groups or classes in a language, in a single language. For example, the first one is noun group, the second is verb group, and the last but not the least is the set of empty words, which are meaningless words in other words. So there are 3 groups, there are 3 categorical classes, and in those classes we are going to compile every part of speech in there. So let us get started from the nouns group. It definitely possesses noun as the first category. Noun is a name, and obviously if we are to introduce this, what really noun means, so the definition itself is very much known everywhere globally. Noun is the name of any person, place, animal, thing. So the person, place, animal and things are not themselves nouns when they are named. So the names of them are nouns. So like me, myself is not a noun really, but my name is a noun. So noun is actually the name. And we use pronoun. Why for? Because let's find the definition within the term pronoun. So the word pro here actually means for, and when we look at for, so for actually means in place of. So what we need to understand is the definition of pronoun. Pronoun is a word that is used for noun, or in other words, in place of noun. So when we replace any word to place it in the place of noun, then it becomes pronoun. So what we need to understand is noun and pronoun, when they both get described, then that describing element brings us to the final element of nouns group, that is an adjective, which is in a series is the third word class, as you can see. And let us get down to the second class, the word group, verb group, I beg your pardon. So verb group has actually definitely possesses verb, and it means an action. Verb is always an action. So verb is an action, and when an action needs to get described or modified in one way or the other, then it gives birth to another word class, and that is called adverb. So by simplest method to learn, we can break the term into two words, as add a different word and verb is a different word. So add something in the meaning of verb can give you the sense of adverb. So whatever describes noun or pronoun are adjectives, and whatever describes verbs are always adverbs. So this is the common comparison between adjectives and adverbs. And let us get down to the last section, empty words. Now the empty words hereby means in multiple ways, meant in multiple ways. They are either called meaningless words, or they are called dependent words. Dependent hereby means the words which are themselves not really meaningful, but they are meaningful only because they are actually added with some other words. So they are more like dependent words. So it has three final word sections of parts of speech, word classes. The first of which is preposition, and the other is conjunction, and the last but not the least is interjection. So we'll define them in our later lectures to come. So these three, in other words, also are known as linking words, the type of words which are the words that link multiple clauses and other word classes and parts of speech. So that's the first introduction of the lecture. Until next time, it is goodbye.